Hey there, welcome to my free training on how to unlock emotionless eating after a stressful day with your kids. I know a lot of parents eat emotionally, they are emotionally attached to food, and when stress levels are through the roof, it only makes this a lot worse. So, this is a great training on how you can put a stop to all this emotional eating. So, let's get stuck into it then. So, why do we emotionally eat in the first place? So, there are three main reasons. The first thing is stress and anxiety. Whenever you are stressed out, whenever you're anxious about something and worried about something, then it causes you to comfort it, to get you. This is the emotional side of things. You're emotionally attached to food. It's like, whenever you're worried about something, you get like the feeling of you get that feeling in your stomach, and you want to try and get rid of that there. And people turn to food to try and decrease that there. So they're emotionally attached to food, even though they're not hungry. They still try. They still eat. They still try to get rid of it through eating. So stress and anxiety is a real big reason behind the tiredness as well. So being a parent, you're probably not getting as much sleep as most other people, and this is obviously going to cause you to be very tired. And then what happens is then whenever you finally get 5 or 10 minutes to yourself and you sit on the sofa, probably sit and watch Netflix or something like that, you end up eating a lot more than what you probably usually would have, because you're tired and you're like, oh fuck it, it's been a long day. I deserve to have this food. I've been working so hard all day, and again, you get emotionally attached to this type of food because you feel that you deserve it, and this is another reason why parents emotionally eat. Also, another reason would be boredom. Whenever you're sitting maybe at the weekend, after you worked hard all week, and it comes to the weekend, and the reason behind this is most people emotionally at the weekend and they go off track at the weekend is because they're out of routine of work. They're out of routine of they're of kids going to school, and they're trying to put the day in. What happens is they end up becoming bored, and whenever there's nothing to do, what do you think they do? They grab the nearest packet of crisps, they grab the nearest type of food, and they start munching the waste because they are bored and they want to have something to do, and they end up eating because of that. There, you know, sitting on a Saturday night. Have you ever done it? Sitting on the sofa watching a movie, and you're eating your popcorn, but it just doesn't seem to be filling a hole. You end up eating chocolate, and you end up eating other things, a full pizza, and all this sorts of food. And the reason behind it is because these people are bored. These parents are bored. So those are the three main reasons why we emotionally eat. So how do we stop it then? So ignore that. Okay, this is good. So let's how do we stop it? So take a moment to breathe before you go to eat. Take a second, breathe and go, am I, and then the next thing is to actually ask yourself, am I actually hungry? Do I need to eat this particular type of food, or am I just eating this food for the sake of it? So breathing is amazing. It brings you back to the present. It helps to de-stress a bit, and makes you feel less anxious. And then once you can start thinking clearly, which is why we breathe, then you start thinking clearly, then you ask yourself the question, am I actually hungry? And 9 times out of 10, you are probably not hungry. You're just grabbing the food for the sake of it, and you are emotionally eating. But when you actually do these two things together, then 9 times out of 10, you aren't actually hungry, and you will not eat the food. And then what I want you to do then as well is ask yourself, what was the reason? Why did I want to eat that particular type of food? What was it that triggered me to eat that food? And then I want you to write it down. And then the next time that you feel this trigger coming on, you just say to yourself, right, okay, well, this has triggered me before, so I'm going to try and avoid it, or I'm going to try and reduce it. And this is going to help you then to emotionally unattach you then from the food. Other things that you can do to stop this emotional eating, you know, you're feeling anxious, so you expand your nervous system by you can dance to your favorite song. You can squeeze a stress ball, or you can do a bit of meditation. So we want to reduce that feeling of anxiety. So we want to um, do things that are going to, for one thing, take our mind off the anxious feeling, and another thing as well, and just to try and calm, relax your body. So dancing about to your favorite song, even listening to your favorite song, can really help to reduce anxiety. But dancing about as well is going to take your mind off it, and it's also a really good way to burn a bit of calories too. Also, those stress balls, that is really going to help you to reduce your anxiety, which is then well, another thing as well is meditation. Doing a bit of deep breathing exercises with the meditation. That's going to help to center you. It's going to help to bring you back to the present. And this is then going to help you detach yourself emotionally from food, because you don't actually need it whenever you start to feel less anxious. You know, you're going to be feeling exhausted as well whenever you're feeling tired. So what you can do is, treat yourself to a hot cup of tea whenever you're tired. Also as well, you can take a bath, or you can, wrap yourself in a warm blanket and just chill out, and rest and relax. You don't have to turn to food whenever you're exhausted to try and get rid of that feeling. You can do these three things here, and they will also help you to get away from that feeling of exhaustion. Another thing you can do there is jump in a cold shower. That'll definitely take the feeling away, and you definitely won't want to eat after that. So, there's other ways that it's all about taking your mind off the trying to eat that food, and thinking of other ways that you can thinking of other things that you can do other than eating. So then the last thing there is feeling bored. Myself up in the top corner. Instead of reaching for the snacks in the cupboard, why not grab a good book and start reading it, or watch a comedy show so you're laughing your head off, or get outside for a walk and go for a walk outdoors, or you know if you've got a hobby that you do, this can be another thing. You can go and do your hobby rather than sitting, eating food and emotionally eating food, and just eating the food for the sake of it. So these are all a lot of different things that you can do in your life other than eating